Hi everyone, welcome back to yet another RC practice session by Rodha. You must have realized that I love ZAD a little more than the kind of passages that I find in CAT. A personal bias. I really love the way ZAD treats different disciplines and gives you some beautifully framed questions. They might be from literature, philosophy, psychology. Small passages at times, but dense passages that want you to read extremely between the lines. So let's start the passage for today. Small passage, 2 questions, but let's do them quick, real quick. But as the behavioral economists like to remind us, we are already prone to all sorts of reductions as a species. That means we are prone to, that means we would probably want things to be reduced to some other thing. And it is not just the scientist. I mean, we already are prone to doing that. That means people beyond scientists also end up doing that. We compress complex reality down into abbreviated heuristics. Heuristic is something that you try to find out a solution by a hit and trial, some kind of latent thing that often work beautifully in everyday for high frequency. Makes sense? No, I mean, if you have a complex problem, but you probably have that happening every day for a high frequency, low significance decisions, that might make sense, right? Because we are an unusually clever and self-reflective species, we long ago realized that we needed help overcoming those reductive instincts when it really matters. And so what did we do? We invented a tool called storytelling. At first, some of our stories were even more reductive than the sciences would prove to be. That means we were reducing them more than what we were expected to be. Allegories, parables, and morality plays that compress the flux of real life down to archetypal moral messages. I quickly remembered my moral science book here. But over time, the stories grew more skilled, adept at describing the true complexity of lived experience, the holes and the thread-like pressures. One of the crowning achievements of that growth is what? That we became quite a little more realist, not just compressing them to morality-based messages. That, of course, is the latent sideway implication of Prince Andrei's question. Innumerable conditions made meaningful only in unpredictable moments would fare well as a description of both War and Peace and Middlemarch, arguably the two totemic works in the realist canon. So here is what I understood, that we are prone to doing what? All sorts of reductions, right? The author seemed to be fine about high frequency, low significance decisions because they happen every day and they work beautifully. Now, because we are an unusually clever, we long ago realized that we needed help overcoming when it really matters. And when it mattered or when it matters, we kind of came out with something called as a storytelling, right? In storytelling, what did we used to do here is we used to use allegories and parables that compressed real life into what? Real life situations. So real life situations to what? To moral messages, right? To moral messages. This used to be a part of the story before, correct? Right? Now what happened is over time, the stories grew more adept. So this, but, and then we now what do we do here is, we probably became a little more realist. That means our compression is not as strong as what we used to do in the previous point, correct? So compression is, I would write, not so much now. Are we trying to be a little more closer to reality? Maybe yes. What gives the novel the grain of truth, again being more realist, lies precisely in the way it doesn't quite run along the expected grooves. So there's some kind of uncertainty, and the way it dramatizes all the forces and unpredictable variables that shape the choices humans confront at the most meaningful moments of their lives. Fair enough. When we read those novels or similarly rich biographies of historical figures, we're not just entertaining ourselves, we're also rehearsing for our own real world experiences. So in other words, what I could say here is, we probably are becoming a little more realist, and the art of storytelling has probably moved on to being archetyping into moral messages to a little more realistic. Beautiful paragraph. Let's go to the questions. The first question says, which of the following is the best interpretation regarding reductive instincts? Storytelling, then some realist, something around that. After the invention of storytelling, humans have overcome their reductive instincts? Not necessarily. It might have changed. The storytelling has changed, but they have not necessarily overcome. Reductive instincts led to compression of complex reality into moral messages. This was true, right? So this at least was true in the past, but it was true. Reductive instincts can help us in handling uncertainty. No, the author is not trying to show that. Reductive instincts tell us to reduce every situation to a heuristic. Again, nothing about this claim is being evidenced. Reductive instincts have to be overcome for survival in the real world. Again, nothing about this claim. So the correct answer here is option number 2. Remember, I keep on pushing you into saying that I'm doing that, we're doing that, and still we are able to do a good number of questions here. The second question, as I said, that is smaller but yet meaningful. Let's see. Why would a realist novel consist of innumerable conditions made meaningful only in unpredictable moments? So that you're uncertain, but you still have some kind of realist structure in your mind. To showcase unexpected complexity, this could probably go and touch which word? Uncertainty, while making it seem relevant. Fair enough, because this would be nothing, but it could be closer to being realist. So an option that in all probability I would want to keep on hold. To engage the reader with realism and fantasy. Oh no, not bad option. To show to the reader that realist novel does not work on expected lines. Not all of it first. Plus, it was never the intended. I did not intend to show it to the reader that it does not work on expected lines. I was trying to say that let's have a little more realistic through unrealistic innumerable conditions. So it was never about this. To keep the reader engaged till the end of the novel. Funny option. I won't even want to discuss on this. I'll just quickly cross these out. To bring in as much content as possible without making it seem forced. Probably saying option number 4 and 5 would have been the first two options I would have eliminated. Clearly the correct answer is option number 1, right? So here I'm gonna be closer to Excel or IBM because I've gotten a 212. 212 is accuracy, and I'm sure that might have differential marking here, so you might score a little more. Remember that RCs is expected to be a little more difficult in terms of perception, but through these sessions I'll make you realize this is not as much as people or you might make it out to be. Perfect. So happy that we did this together. We'll keep on bringing other passages, and I'll see you guys around. Thank you very much. See you.